Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Sunday Morning Shred. I'm your host, Mark Murray. This is the show where you wake up Sunday morning, you roll out of bed, go grab your favorite beverage. Maybe it's coffee, it's tea, tequila, beer. I ain't judging. Whatever you guys like to start your Sunday with, if it's a Sunday fun day, I'm in support of it. Today, I got an iced coffee. My fiance makes the best iced coffees, and it's hot, so I'm drinking iced coffee today. But whatever you want to grab it, head over to YouTube, and join me to talk guitars, because this is the show every week where we get together, we talk guitars, you guys leave your comments down below in the comment area, and I respond to them on the next week, and any of the comments left on my other YouTube videos or over on Instagram, I respond to them here and get your guys' reactions from them, because I want to make this more of a community-based channel. The main channel, GuitarGuts 1, is kind of more high-produced videos, and here on this channel, GuitarGuts 2, I want to hear from you guys. I want to get a conversation going. I want to help each other, and I'll talk more about that with the Patreon, because the Patreon is kind of converting more into a guitar-building community. I'll talk about that in a minute, but today that's what we're doing. We're responding to some of your guys' comments on the videos. I posted a few reels and a few videos in the last week that got quite a bit of discussion, so we're going to go through those. We're going to head to the computer right now and start talking about them. One of the things we talked about last week on Sunday Morning Shred was I was taking your guys' questions, and someone had asked me, any musician, dead or alive, if you could have lunch with anybody, who would it be? I said Eddie Van Halen. Today I'm going to be answering your guys' questions. First one here, you could have lunch with any musician, alive or dead, who and why? I mean, one comes to mind right off the bat, Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen's the reason he's the reason I started playing guitar. I said Eddie Van Halen. And this is a question, you know, when I get questions from you guys, I don't really plan too much ahead of time what I want to say. I want to react in real time, and sometimes I forget, I'm not prepared, for that kind of question. So a week later, I made the right choice. Eddie Van Halen's my guy, and yeah, sometimes you forget somebody when someone puts you on the spot, but no, Eddie Van Halen was definitely the one for me. But in the comments section, you guys had a bunch of great, answers of your own. Starting over on Instagram, I had put up a reel, that was the reel right there, and somebody said Rob Thomas, because he's so smooth. Chuck Schuldiner of Death, that would be a really cool one to get to hang out with him and talk technical metal. Someone said, if it wasn't for King Edward, the newer players wouldn't exist, because I had said, maybe he's not the best player, or, I think he's one of the best of all time, but compared to today's guitar players, there's guys like Tosin Abasi and, John Five, all these insane guitar players with different techniques. And, if you were to put him, to make him go toe-to-toe, John Five, it's hard to go against him as far as, the best player, but for his time, he's pound for pound the king, in my opinion. So, yeah, I agree. The other newer players wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for King Edward. Someone said, no doubt Randy Rhoads, which that's another great one. A lot of people were actually had said Randy Rhoads. One Stop Guitar, we'll talk more about him in a second, but he said, sent you a DM, would love to have you on my podcast. I think a lot of my listeners would love to hear about your show and how you restore, repaint, and give new life to guitars that need a little TLC. So we'll talk about him in just a second. One of the other people said, I would have lunch with Randy Rhoads. He totally inspired me to play when I first started learning guitar back in the early 80s. Although EVH would be cool too. Yeah, Randy Rhoads, one of the coolest dudes, and such a bummer that he is gone. Someone said 100% agreed. Like so many, EVH will always be the GOAT, and maybe Randy Rhoads too. So far, it seems like those are the two leading ones. Here, I would go with Chris Oliva. And I gotta be honest, who is Chris? I don't know who Chris Oliva is, so let's look that up real quick. People in the audience are going, what are you talking about? You don't know who he is? American musician who is the lead guitar player and co-founder of the heavy metal band. Look at this. This is the preview on Wikipedia. You could read it there. It says, the lead guitarist and co-founder of the heavy metal band ... So they cut it off right there, but it's Savatage. He's the lead guitar player of Savatage. So, okay, I don't feel so bad not knowing who he is. If he would have been someone even bigger than that, like from a band that I should have known, I would feel bad. Although Savatage is badass, though. Okay, we'll talk about Eric real quick. So, the guy who wanted me to have me on his podcast is Eric Strangeland. and he has a podcast called Mixtapes. Does anyone out there know who he is? I think I'm going to go on his podcast because, you know, any musicians who are doing something like a podcast or any type of video series, they're starting something from the ground up. I love that. I want to support in any way I can. And he had some pretty big guests on recently. So do you guys listen to his podcast, Mixtapes? If not, go check him out. Let me know what you think of it if you're looking for something to listen to. I think he's on Spotify. He's definitely on Apple. So, yeah. Eric Strangeland, I'm going to be doing his podcast pretty soon. Another person had said, 100% agreed. Like so many, EVH will always be the GOAT. Okay, I already read that one. Who I'd like to have lunch with is Miguel Lobe. I don't know who that is. I got to be honest, another one. So let's find out who Miguel Lobe is. It's 2 L's. He's a guitar player. Born in Barcelona. He's a classical guitar player. Okay, so he's an old school guy from Spain. Died in 1938. Born in 1878. So, very interesting. I don't know who he is. Another person, actually the same guy said, thank you so much for putting the link on Floyd Rose setups. I recently acquired one, and I'm just like, ugh, LOL. That's funny. Ryan's Riff Rats, the guy who had asked me this question. Solid choice, man. For me, it'd have to be Dimebag. Can't go wrong with that one. That's got to be right there in the top 3 for me. Randy Rhoads, EVH, Dimebag, or I'll continue with his. I've read so many zany stories about him, and I'd love to shoot the shit with him. Somebody had said Dimebag would just be so much fun because he'd be, you know, blowing stuff up and drinking beers and smoking weed and all this crazy stuff. And, hey, you can't go wrong with Dimebag. Dimebag would be a hell of a time. Here, someone said, Hetfield, ooh, that coffee is so good. Look at that beautiful iced coffee right there. Let me know in the comments what you guys are drinking this morning. Someone said Hetfield or Dimebag. I mean, Hetfield's alive. I kind of want to go with someone dead because there's a chance you never know what could happen in life. There's a chance you could still meet Hetfield, but you're not meeting Eddie, Randy Rhoads, and Dimebag. Luke LeMay from GuitarGuts. I honestly don't know who that band is. I don't know who he is, but I'm going to have to check him out. Kirk Hammett, someone said. Everyone underestimates him. Metallica wouldn't be so popular without him. Sure, the rest of the band are a big reason, but I would just love to sit, jam, and just talk about anything and everything with him. And yeah, I'm with you on that one. I mean, Kirk Hammett seems like such a cool guy, too. I love Kirk Hammett. And we'll be talking more about Kirk Hammett in a minute because I posted a clip of me and Uncle Sasquatch talking about Kirk Hammett this week. And a lot of people had a lot of things to say about that, so we'll be talking about that in just a minute. Right here, probably Jim Root or Mick Thompson. They got me into guitar again. If you don't know, those are the dudes from Slipknot. Solid choice. We got another one for Dimebag. Dimebag for sure. Another one, Daniel Rodriguez said, Kirk Hammett, he's always been my favorite guitar player and seems like the coolest, chill person to hang with. Absolutely, he's really cool. Another one, Randy Rhoads, easy. Wes said, EVH all day, every day, or any day. Yeah, EVH, man. He would have been fun. Gary said, most definitely 1,000,000% agree. Actually, 10,000,000% agree with you. Actually, it's 100,000,000%. No, that's 10,000,000% agree with you. Eddie Van Halen, without a doubt. When he passed, I said, damn it. I'm learning some of his stuff at 51 years old, bought some EVH gear, and slowly something. Comment got cut off there. Floridian Thrasher said Dimebag because you'd be allowed to smoke, drink, and shoot fireworks at the dinner table. That's hilarious. This must be the same person from Instagram who said, I would go with Miguel Lobet. I'm going to go with Lobe. Michael said, I would have lunch with Prince, very underrated guitarist, especially later in his career and very creative musician. But I would say we skip lunch and just jam. Plus, we're of the same faith, so we'd have a lot to talk about. That's awesome. The SNES man. What's up, man? You know I love those retro video games. I think my first thought on having lunch with a musician is Jimi Hendrix. How did I not think of that one? How did I not even consider Jimi Hendrix as a huge one? He would be awesome. Although he's not as big of an influence on me personally, he influenced the guys who I'm influenced by. So he's a legend. He's a legend. Now we're going to say that's in the top 4 for me. Even though he's not my direct guy, how cool would it be to hang out with Jimi Hendrix? Burn one with the fella, jam it out with him. Just to talk to him about guitar playing and watch his fingers move would be insane. We got one. My instant first thought was also EVH. Also wanted to meet him. Also the reason I started guitar. Yeah. I just got two more in my head. Alan Holdsworth. Can you imagine that? Talking to that guy? I don't really know too much about what he's like in his personal life, but he's just so out there with his guitar playing and so advanced. He would be awesome to talk guitar with. And Ron Jarzambek, who's still with us. He's one of my favorite guitar players ever. Super technical, progressive, lead, master, shredder, and songwriter, and just awesome dude. So Ron would be awesome to hang out with as well. My instant first thought was also EVH. Always wanted to meet him. Also the reason I started guitar, so I'm with you on that one. Cliff Burton. Ooh, that would be another huge one for me. Eddie the King. Another one says definitely Eddie. We got Ryan saying Randy Rhoads. Randy passed too early because he was into designing guitars, tinkering with them. He was really into gear. We just lost too much of what would have been. Plus his playing and how good. Dang, it got cut off again. I should have got the full comments, but I think this comment was the one that went on to say, we lost him early in his career. He was only, I think, 25 years old when he passed away, I think. And man, imagine what he would have gone on to do, Randy Rhoads, if we hadn't lost him. So he would have been a really cool one to sit down and talk to because he just never got to play out his full career. Now, the next thing I want to kind of talk about here, I was saying earlier, the Patreon. I've been doing a lot over on the Patreon page. Now I'm doing weekly exclusive videos just for the Patreon members. So this week I dropped a Patreon exclusive. I converted a JS30 Jackson Rhodes into an Alien Blood. It's the second Alien Blood Rhodes that I've done now. I did one a couple years ago early on for Trash to Thrash with the clear pickguard and the LEDs under the pickguard. But this recent one I did was really cool. It was a newer model, the JS30, and it had no pickguard, so it was a rear-routed one. You can kind of see a little bit of the preview here. It won't end up on an episode of Trash to Thrash. This one is going to be a Patreon exclusive. It's a 3-part series, so the next part in the series is coming to Patreon this Monday, so tomorrow. And I'm going to be doing a lot more exclusive Patreon stuff because the Patreon people are what are helping me pay my bills, to be honest. If you notice, there's ads on this video this week. The first Sunday morning shred on this channel to have ads, and that's because that's a way, these videos are a big way of how I'm making a living. It's rebuilding guitars and doing videos. And the videos, I don't make a ton from. I make definitely more from rebuilding guitars, but as my career goes on, I've got, the guitar, working on rebuilding guitars, it's a lot of work. And the more people I brought in as far as work to do, the more I have to do. It's a lot of work to rebuild a guitar. The better I'm getting, the longer each guitar is taking. And it's hard to justify charging more and more for rebuilding custom guitars. So what I would love to do in the future is focus on a smaller number of guitars that I'm rebuilding at a time and be able to knock them out even quicker than ever and make more videos and more content about them. I would love to be able to do, Trash to Thrash every single week, but realistically, finishing a guitar every week is nearly impossible. Ryan helps me with some things, but at this point, it's mostly me doing all of it because I don't make a ton off each one of these guitars, and it's hard to pay somebody to do some of the work when I'm not making that much on them, to be honest. So once, it's all said and done, and there's not a ton of profit there, and I want to start making the content the thing that pays me more. I would love to be getting the Patreon even bigger. Right now, there's less than 100 members. It's $10 a month. You guys are my hardcore fans, so I'm talking to you guys directly out there. If you guys could go sign up to my Patreon and you want to get these exclusive videos, you're going to get all these videos ad-free that are coming to these other channels. I haven't been the best about doing that in the past. It's kind of hard to keep up with all these platforms, but I've developed a new system, I don't have my papers out here, of staying on schedule with my content creation, and I want to get even bigger with the content stuff. I want to do weekly videos or even 2 a week over for Patreon. Get more videos here. I've been doing 2 on this channel. I want to get 1 or 2 a week over on the main channel. And the only way I can do that is by getting your guys' support, by either getting paid more from YouTube or getting more people on board with Patreon. And I can't just ask people to sign up for Patreon without giving them more. So I'm going to be doing more exclusive content just for them. But I'm still going to be doing Trash to Thrash on the main channel. I actually have a whole series coming out that's going to be like a week-long series rebuilding one of the recent guitars I finished over on the main channel. So don't worry, Trash to Thrash isn't going anywhere. It's not going behind a paywall. But there's going to be ads on these videos because that's going to help me, you know, support Guitar Guts and support my family because this is my full-time job now. So if you guys could, please go join the Patreon. I had to drop the $1 and the $3 a month lines, but I'm giving the people who pay for the CEO tier even more than I've ever given. So I urge you guys, if you can, to go jump on board. Like I said, I want to transition to making more content, more how-to videos, more product reviews, more community-driven videos, you know, getting you guys involved and building a community of guitar builders and modders who can help each other. When we find a good deal on a guitar and you're not going to buy it, go post it in the Discord channel that I have exclusive to the Patreon members. If you guys know where we can get a good deal on parts or tools, or you have tips and tricks, we'll share them in that community, and it'll be like in a little, you know, an exclusive way to help out the Guitar Guts community. The Discord channel, I just launched the Discord channel over there, so we're going to be having little like the way Discord works is it's basically like a message board system where you can post, I think, pictures and videos, and I want to have like different threads down the message board for you guys. So as you're rebuilding your guitar, if you want to share it with the community, you can post your pictures there, and people can come on and give you tips and tricks as you're going along, you know, help you out, give you ideas and inspiration, and that's what I want to do. If I can, what my big end goal would be is to get paid only from YouTube and Patreon and get back to giving away guitars. I would love to be building like 2 custom guitars a month and giving them all away, making it exclusive to where you can't buy a Guitar Guts guitar anymore. You got to be a member of the Patreon and win them in the raffles. So that's the ultimate goal for me, is to give back, help out, and you know, make it so that you guys are upping your guitar building skills too. So like I said, this video is exclusive, but I got another one where I'm just finishing up that, you know, the EVH OLP that I showed last week here on Sunday Morning Shred. I got a video that's like it's like a build video showing me working on it, and that's going over there. There's also a Wolfgang, a top secret Wolfgang that I've been working on. I've been sharing that over on the Patreon. So the Patreon people are getting hooked up, and they're going to get all these videos like Sunday Morning Shred, Trash to Thrash, any of my vlogs, any of my how-to videos. All that stuff is going to be ad-free over there. All right, let's move on. Let's move forward. Enough of that stuff. Over on Instagram and on YouTube, I think on the main channel this week, I had a piece of a conversation with Uncle Sasquatch where we were talking about Kirk Hammett and sweeping, and it was really funny. There were some funny clips in it, but oh yeah, the Discord, there we go.
I mean, everybody's playing fast. They're sweeping, sweep tap, and you know, I go from here to here.
If you didn't see this last week on my Instagram page or on my Reels or on any of the posts that I did, this is Uncle Sasquatch. He's a longtime friend of mine on Instagram, a fellow Instagrammer / YouTuber now, and I'm rebuilding a guitar for him. Super cool dude. He came over to my house, actually. We sat in my backyard here. We were drinking beers. We had a long conversation about guitars, and I've been releasing some of the clips about it. So this is the 3rd clip that I just released. This is like a 1-minute little section of it. We were talking about Kirk Hammett, and we were talking about how Instagram has really changed. It's just dudes shredding as fast as they can. I'm guilty of it. I don't really put playing videos up on Instagram anymore, but I was for a long time, and that was like... What he's describing here is guys flying up and down the fretboard, sweep tap. Talking about like guys like McRocklin and, you know, me too. I was big inspired, or hugely inspired by McRocklin. And yeah, he's right about this. So if you didn't see it, let me play a little 1-minute clip of it, and then we're going to play some of the responses in the comments to what he had to say. And then I have another little clip that was kind of funny too from it.
I mean, everybody's playing fast. They're sweeping, sweep tap, and you know, I go from here to here, and you know,
learning modes.
Yes, you know, and it's good to know your theory, but at some point, it's just like
we're all doing the same thing now.
Yeah, you just like you're cramming.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that's where, you know, those guitar players they talk down on someone like, you know, Kirk Hammett, but I think Kirk Hammett is a soulful guitar player. I remember all his solos. You can sing them.
The Creeping Death solo.
Yes. Exactly.
So melodic.
Yes, they're melodic. They catch your ear. You remember them. I mean, if you tell me to sing a Yngwie Malmsteen solo, I'll be like, okay, it's just a fast harmonic minor, yeah, in the key of A. It's like, okay, it's like
It's technically perfect.
yeah. So it's like, oh, sorry, Yngwie fans. You know, if I'm talking bad on your guitar player, I can't stand the guy.
So, what do people have to say about that? Someone said, I loved watching this. I totally agree with everything you said about Kirk. I could not count the hours I've spent learning his solos. Me too. Ryan said, dude, shredders of today that feel speed is what matters with sweeps, etc. They need to go back and listen to Vito Bratta, Randy Rhoads, George Lynch, and learn that melody and taste is where it's at. Jay's Wave said, at 9:19, man burp while discussing man buns. That's pretty funny. We started talking about long hair. I got a clip of that in a second, but I don't think I got the burp. The burp, man, I'm not a fan of burps into microphones. Feel it's a little gross. But hey, I'm not going to censor Sasquatch. He's a legit dude, and yeah. I thought it was actually funny when I was editing the video. I was like, geez, that's a monster burp. He's 100% dude, you know? Comics, coffee, metal. I like those things. Agree 1,000% about Kirk. People forget how memorable almost every solo is he's written. Horns up. Jay's Wave said, this rules. Two of my all-time favorite internet guitarists together. That's awesome. I love to hear that. Thanks, man. Frederick said, Bob Rock was less kind with Kirk Hammett during the recording of the Black Album. Basically, Kirk Hammett was not pushing himself very hard. There's a famous clip of Kirk recording the Unforgiven solo, and Bob Rock goes, come on, man, this is really what the guitarist of the year came up with? And Kirk's like, what, man? What do you want me to do? And Bob Rock sits back and goes, come on, I know you can do better. And Kirk's getting frustrated. Bob Rock's getting pissed off. They're in the studio recording the solo for Unforgiven. And then all of a sudden Kirk goes, you know, whatever, watch this. And shreds out this killer solo because, you know, Bob Rock's got his criticisms. And Kirk goes, oh yeah? Kabam! Smashes out what pretty much is the solo that's on the album. And shuts Bob Rock up, and everybody in the room goes, holy crap. It's a great clip. I think it's from a year and a half with Metallica documentary that was them recording the Black Album. It took them like a year and a half or something to get it done. So the next comment says, watching this, I'll say that with all my recorded solos, when I listen back, I usually wish I had removed some notes versus added some. Very insightful. That's actually very interesting. Someone said, amen, brother. He was a god way before he reached the heavens. Lord bless his soul. I guess these are out of order. These comments should have been in a different section, but we'll read them anyways. That was about EVH, I guess. These should have been about me talking about me asking you guys who you would want to have lunch with. We got another one for Randy Rhoads here. He was my inspiration to start playing guitar. Maybe a lesson in his mom's music school with a couple sandwiches. That's really hilarious. With a couple Sandies. Brett said, Dimebag Darrell, I have met and hung out with many famous musicians over the years, but I never got to meet Dime. Met Vinny, but not Dime. R.I.P. Dude, it would have been a toss-up between Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Ooh, we got one for Stevie Ray. Do you think you're going to keep your hair and your beard long forever?
As long as I can.
You ever want to cut it?
I don't want to cut it, but I'm never sick of it. I've had it long, you know, pretty much all my life. Not losing my hair, as far as I know. I'm not going bald. So as long as when it gets to that point, then I will shave it. I'm not going to be that guy that has, you know, taken a few strands.
That's not a good look. I remember a couple years ago, you know, when you go to NAMM, you have to park downtown, and then you take like a bus across town.
Yeah.
To the convention center.
Yeah, they have a shuttle. Yeah.
And that is the saddest bus ride ever. It's all these '80s rockers who are like going bald. But that day of the year is like their Halloween, where they can dress back up in their leather, throw on their spikes, and it's like I'm looking at these guys like, dude, guys, you're all fat. You're bald. You're bald. Like, give it up. Cut that hair.
Exactly, dude.
It is sad.
I will bick it down. Like the moment my scalp is being seen, I will shave it off. I will not deal with it. I will just carry King.
I know at least one of these guys is watching right now. So hey, man, this is what we're all thinking of. If these bald guys with the long hair still, like, come on, man, just cut it off. Sorry. Last week I had asked you guys for questions for Sunday Morning Shred. And by the way, that whole video, there's like a 12-minute video of me and Sasquatch talking on the main Guitar Guts channel. I'll link it down below and at the end of the video probably. So go check it out. It's fun. And I'll have another Sasquatch clip possibly this week or next week. We'll see. On Wednesday for like the midweek vlog video. So let me know in the comments. It seems like you guys liked it. That one guy said his 2 favorite internet guitars together. That's so cool. So last week, like I said, I had asked for questions to answer on Sunday Morning Shred, and there was a couple that came in after the episode, so I figured, why not address them now? Can I get a free guitar? No. The Big Snow... By the way, if that's the guy who keeps asking... There's some guy who keeps asking. This is the 3rd time I'm asking. This is the 4th time I'm asking. He keeps commenting on the videos. I'm not... I don't just give guitars away for free. Like I said earlier, I gotta support my family. I have kids. I love making videos for you guys, and I love working on guitars, but if you're not, helping to support Guitar Guts by being a Patreon member, I do raffles on there. I give guitars away all the time on there, but if you're not helping supporting the channel in those ways, I can't just give you guitars. Like, even the cheapest guitars that I rebuild are still, like, at least $700, $800, $900 guitars, so, yeah, I can't just give them away, guy, but... Another one was, I was told I'd get a girlfriend if I played guitar, so why haven't I gotten one yet? There's a big misconception there. I actually know a guy who told me that he fully started playing guitar just to get girls. And the truth is, if you want to get girls with guitar, you can't be playing Metallica and Van Halen songs. You got to play like John Mayer and Ed Sheeran and stuff like that. And if you're a douchebag, girls are still not... Actually, girls like douchebags. I was going to say they're not going to like you. Go be a douchebag. They'll like you. Next one says, how can I start to mod my guitar? So the easiest mods and, maintenance, it should become before modification. So I put out a video earlier this week showing how to polish your frets. I'm going to do another one soon on how to rehydrate your dry, old, looking like it's cracking rosewood fretboard. I got one about maple fretboards from years ago that has like 100,000 views. The easiest mods, honestly, to start out... If you have a cheaper guitar, or even if it's a nice guitar, you could change your knobs. You could put some strap locks on the guitar. Change your tuners out to some nice quality locking tuners or something like that. These are where I would start because these are like quick bolt-on, easy things to do. But then if you want to start getting a little more technical, change your pickups. Or add a push-pull switch so you can get coil taps and have single coil tones out of your guitar. That's a super cool mod. Little more challenging than changing your knobs over. Another one would be maybe electrical mods. Buy a soldering iron, start practicing your soldering. Add a phase reversal switch possibly, or switch out your pickups. Let's see, what else? What would be some good mods? If you got a Floyd Rose, throw a brass block, an FU tone brass block, or some upgraded stainless steel hardware or titanium hardware in it. Painting is where it gets a bit trickier because you feel like you can kind of ruin your guitar pretty easily if you don't know what you're doing. What else? What else? What are some other easy mods? Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think are the easiest mods for a guitar? Changing your pickguard. If you have a pickguard on your guitar, you can just unscrew the pickups, rescrew them right back into a different pickguard. That's a good one. Another question. If you were in a desert island and you could bring one guitar and one amp, which one would it be? Okay, so I kind of answered this question a little bit last week by someone asked me what would my dream guitar be, and someone asked me what my favorite guitar that I own is, and the answer was the same. It's my Edwards ECY 165 CTM, that red quilted maple guitar. I love that guitar. That's my dream guitar. So if I were to go to a desert island, I hope they got trees there because I'm going to get sunburned. I'm pretty fair skinned. A desert island. The amp is a little different. I think I'd go with either like a JCM 900. Can't go wrong with that amp. Hopefully they got electricity there. Maybe I'd be better off with like a battery powered amp. But no, the number one answer for me is the Axe-Fx. I bought an Axe-Fx like 2 or 3 years ago. And for making videos or just having an unlimited amount of tones at your fingertips, I love that amp, or that processing unit. Maybe it doesn't count because it's a processor, but I love that thing. And it doesn't have an amplifier in it. You got to hook it through like a PA or a power amp to get some real juice out of it. Although, can't you hook them up? Maybe it does have an amp. Maybe I don't even know what I got, but I think you can actually hook it directly to speaker cabinets. But yeah, probably it would be the Axe-Fx or the JCM 900. for years after I got my Axe Effects, probably 2 years solid, I didn't even play out of my Marshalls anymore. But I did have kids, and and I used to live in the house here. I used to have a bunch of roommates here. I had to kick them all out because I'm not going to raise my kids around a bunch of lunatics, but they were my friends. I say lunatics with love, But we were a bunch of drinking, partying animals, and I hadn't turned my Marshall on for like at least a year. That Axe Effects kept me going, with the headphones and being able to record covers with monster tones, but it wasn't loud. I love that. So, yeah, the Axe Effects and the Edwards are my two go-tos. Did you guys watch Joe Rogan and Dave Mustaine? I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan. Been listening to him since the beginning, since the Snowflake days. And I'm a recent Megadeth fan. In the last 3 years or something, I've become a Megadeth fan. I was anti-Megadeth from when I was 11 years old until I was 32 years old, probably. Then I got the Dystopia album, and it completely changed my mind. I went back and I listened to all the younger or the older stuff by them, and I accept it all now. I like it, pretty much all of it now. I'm over hating Dave's voice, and this surprised me, Joe Rogan having Dave Mustaine on. They seemed like a very unlikely pairing. When I first saw that he had him on, I thought, Joe Rogan is not a metal guy. He had James Hetfield on, but I feel like James Hetfield in the world scene is way more famous than Dave Mustaine. Like, a lot of people who don't necessarily follow metal know who James Hetfield is. I don't know how many people, like if I ask my parents, they know who James Hetfield is. Probably because I talked about him my whole entire childhood. But they wouldn't know who Dave Mustaine is. After getting 5 minutes into this podcast, I completely forgot Dave Mustaine is a martial artist. He's a black belt in karate and taekwondo, and I think he's like a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. They had so much to talk about. They had old kickboxing and taekwondo stories from 25, 30 years ago with talking about all these old school kickboxers and karate guys. And then they started talking about Dave's, he got into black magic when he was young, and he was I think a Jehovah's Witness. He's had a crazy life, being in Metallica, of course. And James Hetfield, I didn't know, James Hetfield moved out of his parents' house when they were like 19 years old, moved in with Dave Mustaine, and shared a room with them, maybe even shared a bed with them, and lived with Dave Mustaine's mom with them. And I think he might have lived with Dave, or McGovney, what's his name? Ron McGovney, the original bass player of Metallica. If you think Cliff is the original bassist, you're wrong. It's Ron McGovney, who was the original bass player of Metallica. They kicked him out once they saw Cliff Burton headbanging on stage. They knew they had to have him. So, yeah, that's crazy. That was a great podcast. If you didn't check it out, I strongly recommend you to. But yeah, the black magic thing or whatever it was, Dave Mustaine was putting hexes on people. It's crazy. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, I loved that. I put out a video this last week, how to polish your frets with a Dremel. And if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend you go check it out, give it a like, go polish your frets, make them look beautiful. If you watch Trash to Thrash, you've probably seen that I was using steel wool for the longest time, but I really hate that steel wool, it breaks apart as you're buffing down your frets, and you also have to use masking tape and mask off your entire fretboard because it is harsh enough to scratch up your fretboard. It will leave them looking pretty good, but polish will make your frets look way more clean. And if you use a low-speed Dremel, like I was saying in the video, I turned it all the way down. 5,000 RPM was a little too slow because once you touch it down to the frets, it slows down lower than 5,000 RPM. You have to be a little careful because you can overheat your fretboard. People were saying, when I was Googling and doing some research, some people were saying that it can cause your frets to lift. And yeah, I never had heard that. And some people were saying that there's like a jeweler's rouge or something like that, which I've never heard of that either, that they use, which is more like a wax. But as far as I know, you're not really supposed to use wax products on your guitar anywhere. So I would imagine that I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. If you know about this jeweler's rouge, let me know in the comments because I've never actually even heard that people do that. Of course, I knew the steel wool thing, but it leaves a huge mess behind. Then you got to bring the guitar out and spray it down with air, like shoot it with the air compressor. And if you happen to get any of those metal shavings, attracted to the pickups because your pickups are obviously magnetic. It'll attract the tiny little pieces of steel wool. It could short out your pickups and ruin them. So I don't really love steel wool, but it's just what I used for a long time. And yeah, this is definitely the way. People, I've done it before a long time ago, but then I went back to steel wool for some reason, and people were recommending in the comments, dude, you got to get a Dremel. It's going to be so much faster. It would take me like over an hour, I think, to tape down the fretboard, plus all the tape you waste. And then after you tape it, then you got to go through, make a big mess with the steel wool, wear gloves because you'll get little splinters if you don't. This was just way faster. It took me like 20 minutes to do, and yeah, it's how I'm doing all my guitars now. I'm going to be doing a lot more how-to videos, too. I haven't been posting to the main channel because I haven't had any episodes of Trash to Thrash ready yet. But I've got another how-to video coming tomorrow, actually, to the main channel. And this is it. The best way to ship your guitar without a case. I'm constantly getting guitars shipped into me from customers who want me to rebuild and refinish their guitars. And some of them, they come in packed really well. Some of them, not so much. If you remember the Arbor from Season 2 of Trash to Thrash, or maybe even Season 1, Season 2, yeah. It was that fluorescent orange one. The guys at FedEx who boxed it for the customer of mine had boxed it upside down with like no padding in it, and the headstock snapped off. I had another guitar, actually, maybe even the next episode, or the same episode as like a part 2 or something to that one. It was another Arbor V. A big chunk of the wood, the Flying V tip, snapped off because of the same thing. It wasn't packed that good. And there's an art to packing a guitar. It's you know, the more packing, the better usually. But I have a video here that I'm putting out tomorrow. So I'm hoping these are kind of evergreen content that people will search for, like how to ship your guitar, how to pack your guitar for shipping. This is basically showing you if you don't have a case, which a case doesn't mean it's going to arrive safe either. If it's moving in the case, you know, the UPS, USPS, the FedEx guys, their business is transporting stuff. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to take care of it all. They're throwing boxes because, think about it, they're moving hundreds of thousands of boxes across the country at a time. Not in one truck, obviously, but over, you know, across the entire country. Things are going to happen. They got to get it done quick. And think about, like, to ship a guitar across the entire country cost maybe $80 or something like that. Imagine if you had to get it there. Like, $80 is a pretty good deal if you really think about it. But you can't take the time that you would, like, they can't take the time that you would love them to. They can't take the care that you would love them to. That's why I always say get insurance. And there's a lot of little tricks and little tips that you can kind of do to make sure that your guitar arrives safe and sound. And I made a video where I was boxing up this, speaking of Dave Mustaine, Dean Flying V, and showing how to package it, all my little tips and tricks and what recommendations, and even how to get discounted shipping rates. So check out that video tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to be one of those videos that I'm hoping that over the years, people are just constantly searching how do you ship a guitar, or how best way to ship a guitar. Same with the how to clean your frets, or how to clean your frets with a Dremel, or polish your frets with a Dremel. So I'm hoping these are those kind of types of videos that just continuously get views in the long term. And I would love to keep doing more of these how-to videos, but to be honest, doing customer guitars, like I was saying earlier, keeps me so busy that I don't always have time to sit back and edit for 5 hours a video and like shoot a video on how to package it. I'm sometimes getting these guitars packed as quick as I can and getting them out the door. So I don't always have time to do these how-tos, but I figured it's time to do it, especially for my customers. I was kind of doing it more for my customers, so when they are packing their guitar up to ship in, I can refer them to this video and say, here's a video showing you how to pack it up. Check this out. So I know guitars are going to be coming to me safely, but I figured might as well put this out to everybody and make some more evergreen content. I want to keep doing more videos like this, more videos like how-tos, because people seem to enjoy that Dremel one. And I think this one here, I think a lot of people are going to like this one too. So make sure to go over to the main channel tomorrow, hit that like button, watch it all the way through, help support the channel. You know, YouTube pays you based on watch time. This is, it's pretty well known that the more views you get, the more a creator gets paid for their videos. But it's really not the clicks, it's the watch time. If you click on it and then click out of it 5 seconds in, you don't really get anything from that. But if it's an hour video like these Sunday Morning Shred ones are sometimes, and there's an hour's worth of videos with a bunch of commercial breaks, that's going to pay you a lot more than a 3-minute video with no commercials, obviously. If you want these videos, like I said, all of them are going to be available over on the Patreon. Every video now is going to be over there ad-free. So I just upgraded my Vimeo account. That's where I host all of them, and then they're exclusive to Patreon. They're all private, so you can't go search them on Vimeo. But I just upgraded it to, I think it's 20 gigabytes a week now. I was at the 5 gigabyte plan, and it just wasn't enough to put all my videos up, so the Sunday morning shreds weren't going up there anymore. But starting with this video, now that this channel is going to have ads on it again, definitely going to have the ad-free ones available for you guys. Another video that's going to be coming next week is this. See this mic arm? I just got a new mic stand arm for my editing bay. This is where I edit my videos right here. So I have a couple rooms of my house is dedicated to this business. Here, this is my garage. I don't know if you guys know that, but this is a 2-car garage, and the entire thing has been converted except for 2 bookshelves over there, which some of you have seen, which is my video game collection, which I hardly even play at this point. But eventually I would love to get into doing more gaming again. And I was doing a gaming channel, but I kind of scrapped it because I'm already busy enough with this, and I don't need to distract myself from building guitars to go play video games and edit videos for that. So when I can play, I'm not recording them anymore. I'm just playing to play because I love playing old retro video games, but this is the 2-car garage. Is basically the whole thing's a guitar shop. Out there, I have a shed. That's my paint booth. And then an 8x10 shed. And then I have an 8x10 storage shed where I keep like guitar cases, shipping boxes, and all kinds of other stuff that I don't use that often that I need to keep around. So I also have a room in my house that's like, it's supposed to be a second, like a living room or a den room, but it's got my amps. My guitars are all along the walls in there, and then this right here, this computer and my big desk in there, which I'm eventually going to move the computer out here. But I just got this new mic stand arm, and it's so cool. I love this arm. I just installed it yesterday. I was using it today for some voiceover for some videos I was editing, and I'm actually doing a review on this. This company called Licato, they reached out to me on Instagram, said they got a bunch of cool musician gear that they sell. It's all available on Amazon, and they wanted to send me some stuff for free in exchange for me making a couple videos. I don't normally do those kinds of deals because if it's like a pedal I would never use, or if it's a product I'm not going to normally use, I don't really want to make videos for stuff I don't use, unless it's going to help the community, which I am going to start doing more videos that are for you guys. So I'm going to be putting up some polls and asking you guys what kind of videos you'd want to see me make. But this arm, I looked through the products. They said, here's a list of the products we offer. Pick a couple of them and let us know which ones you'd want if you'd be interested in making some videos in exchange for us sending you some free products. So I picked this mic arm, which it's only like a $37 mic arm. I was using a different type of mic stand before it was good, but this is so much nicer because I can have it mounted to the end of my desk. And I'm going to have a video, I think later this week sometime, probably Wednesday or Thursday or something like that, on probably the main channel. I'm not really sure. We'll see where it ends up. But it's a really cool mic arm, and I'm going to do another review of it in a couple months to show how it's held up over time. Because sometimes things come in, they feel great for a month or even a week sometimes, but then the more affordable budget stuff, it breaks down over time. So for $36, this thing feels super solid, to be honest. Right out of the box, it feels heavy. It feels like it feels nice. So we'll see how it holds up. But this week I'm going to have the initial unboxing, the installation, and my overall impression of it out of the box video. So they sent me this mic arm, and this is something that I would have bought if I kind of knew they were out there. And they sent me this 5 guitar wall mount. I got it mounted right over here on the wall. It looks so badass in real life. It's another thing that I totally would have bought. And what I like about these types of things, again, I'm going to have a separate video, 2 different videos dropping this week about these 2, what are they called again? Their brand, I forgot the brand, Licato, jeez. I'm going to have 2 videos coming out about these Licato products. This runs about $100. I think I saw it on sale at Amazon for 10% off, so it's $90 right now. Got a video coming out this week. And it holds 5 guitars, and what I like about it is they're angled. So they hang off the wall about a foot further than a normal wall mount, but they're angled so the guitars can be a little closer together than ones that are just mounted straight on the wall flat. And that means you can fit more guitars in a smaller area. This little area right here used to hold 3 guitars. So now I can hold 5 guitars in that spot. I actually had 6 mounts, or space for 6 mounts in this whole area right here over on the wall. But I'm thinking I want another one of these and to put it to the left of this one so I can have 10 guitars, angle them the opposite direction so they're kind of 5 on one side, 5 on the other side. And I can hang 10 neck through guitars that are project guitars on one wall. Really cool. So be on the lookout. In the next week, I'm going to have both of those videos coming out. And on this channel here, I'll probably have another Sasquatch clip. So if you guys enjoyed the Sasquatch clip from earlier in the week, check out this one too. Perfect time. Just finished my coffee. And I want to say thanks so much for watching. I got another couple videos coming out really soon featuring some other content creators. I also want to make videos teaching you guys how to make your own videos. A lot of people have asked me questions about starting their own YouTube channel, and I think that might be another thing that I'm going to add into the Patreon. I'm going to start incorporating videos on how to start a YouTube channel, how to grow your Instagram, how to edit your videos together, how to be more productive. I'll show you guys how I do my scheduling and that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that social media side of it and the behind the scenes and scheduling and all that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments here. And just for the heck of it, throw in the comments any videos like how-to videos or product review videos that you want to see here on the Guitar Guts YouTube channels. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I don't know what else. Please go join the CEO tier of the Patreon. Like I said, I want to start doing more content for you guys, more how-to videos, more exclusive stuff for the Patreon members, and get the community really going. I can make way more videos, way better videos, if you guys support me in that way. So I actually have a playlist down in the description for every episode of Trash to Thrash. Another way to help me get more income coming into the YouTube is to click that video. If you don't want to watch it, hit mute, just leave it on in the background, go to bed, go to school, go to work, do whatever you need to do, but leave that playlist rolling so that those watch hours just accumulate for Guitar Guts, and that's going to help bring up the monetization, and then that's going to give me more money to work with to get, you know, more videos for you guys, because right now videos don't make me a ton of money. I spend a lot of time on them, and I love doing them, and it's actually probably my favorite part of the job is finishing a guitar or making videos. Those two things I really love to do, so I love making them for you guys, obviously. I don't love making them for myself, or else I wouldn't be posting them, but I appreciate you guys watching. You guys, the second channel, are killing it. It's now monetized because we're over 1,000 subscribers, and we're over the 4,000 hours of view time, which is insane because my main channel took me years to get to 1,000 subscribers. So, guys, thank you so much. If you can't become a Patreon member, I totally understand. I mean, times are tough. $10 a month, you know, if that's $10 you'd be spending on your kids or something, I totally get it. So, thank you guys, and rock on, my friends. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Be sure to be subscribed to this channel and also hit the like button for this video. Here's a couple links to some videos that if you like this one, you'll probably enjoy as well. Be sure to come back next Sunday because we do this every week. And if you want to help support Guitar Guts, go sign up to the CEO tier of my Patreon. Links to that and my contact are down in the description below.